Shawn Michaels' career had the perfect trajectory, from a rookie running around being paired with Marty Jannetty in the WWF and out before back in the WWF where they found success as the Rockers. Michaels' true calling though was as a singles wrestler, and by the end of the decade he had already established himself as one of the best to ever do it in the WWF. His comeback run is arguably better in just about every area and added to an already incredible legacy which made him into, for most of us, a top 5 wrestler of all time. HBK's ability to work in both roles of a heel and face makes him one of the most versatile wrestlers, and personally speaking, as an all-around talent, not the greatest, but an all-around talent, a guy that can do multiple things. I see him and Randy Savage as 2 of the best ever. The question in this video is simple. Which role was HBK better in? Of course, these are my opinions, but we look at multiple things that include charisma, character, promo, and in-ring. In-ring is not entirely different with HBK, but there's something that's noticeable about it. So let's get into it. Charisma. Michaels is simply one of the most electric and charismatic wrestlers of all time. The moment his music hits, he comes out with so much energy and confidence, and it's easy to see why he was pushed. The women loved him a lot, the kids wanted to be like him, and me personally, I thought he was one of the coolest wrestlers on the roster. Why? Because he was laid back and full of excitement. The man didn't need to try hard to exude charisma, it just simply came with him everywhere. Anybody else coming out dancing like him with those attires would probably be made into a joke, but he made it work with his charisma. Regardless of his role, HBK always had charisma. If there was a camera on him and he was on the roster, he was always up there. Not necessarily number 1 because there's others, but still. As a heel and the IC champion, Michaels brought a lot of glamour to the mid-card division with dazzling confidence and absolutely zero fear in the ring. His next heel run was turned up to the max in charisma. It's like in the games where you set the stats to the max. Just about every segment had sparks and electricity to it, the likes we haven't seen in his previous runs. And when he reverted to the role again in 2005, just for 1 month, people still talk about it because there's this interest seeing him as a heel. So much charisma. As a face, HBK's charisma prevails in ring. You know, I think he was charismatic outside of it, but in ring is where he shined most. He had this ability to drag you into his matches with his selling. And case in point, Survivor Series 2003, 3-1 down. Michaels was about to embark on a comeback and the crowd was all in. Next month against Triple H, that San Antonio crowd wanted nothing other than a victory for their hometown boy. And that's just a small sample of the in-ring charisma Michaels had as a face. But in general for this one, I'm leaning towards heel HBK. Heel HBK wins this battle for me because of his DX run. That HBK that walked into Montreal, into enemy territory as the most hated guy, and relished in being drenched in water and desecrating the Canadian flag. The guy that returned to the same city 8 years ago and showed zero remorse over his actions. Character. Shawn Michaels' character has been extremely consistent since the very beginning. Small traits had been added over time because of experience, but for the most part, the guy that threw his friend into the barbershop window hadn't really changed throughout his 18-year singles career. The thing that distinguishes his heel and face runs comes down to his arrogance. HBK is already confident, at times cocky about his talent, and he never shied away from showing confidence. He started off as the boy toy who was desperate to show everyone how good he was, while doing it in style. At times, he gave off a vibe of, oh, I already made it, as evident by this promo for WrestleMania 11. He guaranteed to steal the show like never before and have a performance that would be lauded and praised. And he straight up said that he's doing it because he can. Once he reverted to his heel character again in 1997, he had the experience, but despite this, was even more wild. The type of wild you see a wrestler display in their early years. Even more flamboyant than previously, more eager to steal the show, and again, this version of Shawn Michaels, the DX version, is the one that's praised the most as a heel. Because all around, including character, he was at his best as a heel here. As a face, HBK's character was toned down a bit. And I'm of course talking about his first run. He had to hold back a bit because of that run. Once he became champion, some fans grew tired with him as this good guy who was dancing around. HBK didn't have this problem in his return run. Outside of the ring, his attitude changed, and because of that, his face run felt more natural. Michaels once again excelled. This time around, he was the veteran that often faced others who were trying to make a name for themselves at his expense, and just about every time, he would shut them down. What I like most about second run HBK is that even though he was a face, he had depth. He didn't always follow the rules. At times, he would make a statement by dropping his rival, and if he desperately wanted a match, he would cost somebody a title. So at face value, I would have went with heel HBK. However, number 1, he didn't have as much material as face HBK, and 2, his face run went deep beyond the regular qualities. You know, he just wasn't all good guy, attacks the heel, doesn't run away, gets jumped, this and that. No, he had doubts about his own talent at times, he had a viciousness at times, and of course, in general, had an ego bigger than Texas. And this all happened during his second run. So face HBK for the win. Promo. Shawn Michaels' promo ability is often under the radar. Not underrated, but it's not talked about much. He was good on the mic, always had a way with the words ever since he turned heel and became the Heartbreak Kid, and gradually Michaels' promo ability improved, and by the end of his first run, he was very good. His promo ability was much more notable, especially once he formed DX. He had a bunch of memorable promos talking about McMahon, or as he used to call him, Thin Man. He's talking about the Click, this and that, and it was always full of passion and emotion. He wanted everything his way and was willing to take everybody down to hell with him if he was going. It was a reflection of his actual character at the time, who was somewhat losing it. But with that said, Shawn Michaels, unaware of what zip code he was in, is one of his best errors as a promo. Upon his return, HBK's promo ability was significantly different. He always spoke with a wise mind and always reminded his opponent of who they were dealing with. Not in an arrogant way, but in a way to force his opponent to step up because they were facing the showstopper, the headliner, the main event. And again, a lot of his most memorable promos come from the second run. Old Yeller, the promo against Jericho, The Undertaker, hell, the time where HBK grew the beard and came back, he was on another level on the mic. That comes with experience, of course. However, we all know deep down there was that real HBK that he occasionally showed. The one that screwed over Brett in Montreal. So for this one, I'm going with heel, because HBK at his core was an extension of his heel character. He just concealed it, and the times he showed it, such as his feud with Hulk Hogan, it was amazing. The only disadvantage his heel run has in the promo department is that he lacked the collection of his babyface counterpart. However, he did so much in that short time, and both his DX run and his 2005 run are still talked about to this very day. Like, imagine what he could have done if he had a proper run in the 2000s. In-ring. Now, I think there's no introduction for Shawn Michaels in-ring. He's always one of the first answers when somebody asks about the best in-ring performers. Michaels had a great blend of athleticism and storytelling. He was by far the flashiest wrestler on the roster in the mid to late 90s. Regardless of his role, he was going to put on a show. Initially, I was against putting in-ring here, but I realized there was a little difference between HBK as a heel in-ring and as a face. As a heel, he was all about the show. His showmanship shined bright, but as a face, he had this ability to make everybody believe in him. He did show off a bit, but that's the difference there. Michaels' matches have always been excellent. As a heel, he gets the fans behind the face to beat him and make a joke out of him, and as a face, he really knew how to play the underdog role, especially if he was facing somebody like The Big Show, Yokozuna, or Mankind. There's countless matches where the fans refused to believe Michaels would lose despite his situation, and the excitement and entertainment we got out of it was absolutely amazing. So for this one, it goes to babyface HBK. His very best matches have come as a babyface. Of course, he was a good guy for most of his career, but still, I feel like to get the most out of Shawn Michaels in-ring, he has to be a babyface. Okay, now, this would be a tiebreaker, but I'm not going to do it because it's fairly obvious which way it would go if we did it. You know, it's kind of unfair for this one. That was going to be moments. I initially included moments, so I just want to give my personal opinion. Now, Shawn Michaels has had an incredible career. Regardless of his role, face, heel, he had memorable performances. He was never disappointing in either role. He plays the character well. He just knows how to do it and where to do it. Simple as that. And I initially wanted to go with his heel run because HBK as a heel is absolutely magical. He's something special. However, I gotta go with the guy I grew up with, the babyface Shawn Michaels. As I said, once again, some of you guys are gonna go with heel HBK, but I'm gonna go with babyface. He had a great run. 7 years, non-stop babyface. Well, not non-stop. There was a month as a heel. But there's a reason why I didn't go stale. It's because he was a great babyface. Everyone else had issues, you know, Edge, Batista, even John Cena. But Shawn Michaels never had that issue where he had to turn heel. He obviously had that issue in the late 90s because, you know, fans were turning on him for being this good guy, this and that. But by the 2000s, HBK knew how to play that role. He was much better in that role, and that's why I chose him. In-ring, great storyteller. He's already a great storyteller as a heel, but when you put him in that role as a babyface, he just brings out the best. HBK at his best in-ring is a babyface. So many performances where he's fighting from underneath, and I just loved him as a babyface. Simple as that. So, yeah. Alright, what do you guys think of Shawn Michaels? Make sure you hit the elbow on the like button and perhaps the sweet chin music and the subscribe button. Peace. I'm out.